Ooh, this video is gonna get me canceled, but I'm a black man in beauty living in America, so I've been canceled. So, what's going on, Fireflies? It's me, Miway, and I'm here to present you with some greatness. I can already see the dislikes and the hate for this video coming. Alright, you guys, so today's video is going to be extremely interesting. I said a few weeks ago, like roughly around the time the new year started, that I was going to start making more content that's less focused on pleasing brands and more so on satisfying or projecting the thoughts and views of consumers and things of that nature. So yeah, today's video is going to be extremely interesting. This is a concept that I've been thinking about for about a month, and I feel like regardless of how I approach this video, somebody's going to get upset and somebody's going to get mad, but honestly I'm doing this without the intent of doing that. Today's video is going to be a pros and cons of our favorite brands, specifically my favorite brands, but a lot of your favorite brands too. So what's going to happen here is that I'm just going to talk about some brands, talk about the good that these brands are doing, but also talk about the things that they need to work on from a consumer standpoint. I'm not affiliated or associated with any of the brands I'm going to be mentioning today, so this is me strictly talking from a place of experience and from the outside looking in. And yeah, quick disclaimer, and I'm sure this disclaimer popped up at the beginning of the video, but I have to say it a million times. Understand that the things I'm going to say in this video are not going to be me bashing the companies, bashing the owners, bashing whoever's associated with the company. It is simply me giving my input and the input of a lot of other people into what we like about these companies and what we think these companies need to work on. And hopefully, I doubt it because I have no impact whatsoever, but if any of these companies end up watching this video, I hope that they take what I say as constructive criticism, because that's what I want it to be. And hopefully we'll see some great things come out of it. So that's the goal here, and hopefully we'll stick with that. If not, then I shot myself in the foot, but I don't have 2 feet to walk on anyway. Let's go. Before this video begins, if at any point you are enjoying yourself and enjoying me and the content I'm creating, then go ahead and give this video a huge thumbs up, like, and support. It means so much. Also, if you want to continue seeing my face on your YouTube feed, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I upload. And without further ado, we're going to get into an extremely controversial yet much needed video about our favorite brands and what we need them to start doing and what they're doing right and all that stuff. So let's go. Okay, so this video is going to be a doozy. Like I said, this is simply me giving constructive criticism to these brands, to the owners, to anyone who's associated with the companies. This is not me attacking these brands in any shape, form, or fashion. I am simply giving my input on what I feel like needs to be improved, and as well as the things that we are grateful for and proud of these companies for doing. Like, that's the big thing I want to take away from here, is that a lot of people tend to give out these constructive criticisms and they're doing it from a place of hate, a place of spite, a place of just shade and ignorance. And it's like, if you're going to give someone constructive criticism, also make sure you're building them up and let them know what they're doing right. That's what I plan to do here. So hopefully this will come off right. I'm going to start with the brand that I consider my favorite brand, and so I'm going to be saying things that, you know, may hurt me, but at the end of the day, I want to see this brand grow even more. So yeah. First brand we're going to be talking about is Fenty Beauty. Yes, everyone's beloved, my beloved, Fenty Beauty is a, if you're living under a rock, I don't know what to tell you, but Fenty Beauty is a brand co-owned by Ariana in partnership with Kendo, yes, who works with creating brands for celebrities and things of that nature. Fenty is pretty much that girl at the moment, and despite being that girl, there are things that, you know, I need to say that are good and bad about the company. So start with the positive here. Fenty, in my opinion, helped to push the wave of inclusion in the new age of beauty and to help shake the table and rattle and get these brands riled up for what they need to be doing. In case you guys just aren't aware, Fenty originally launched with 40 different foundation shades, ranging from the fairest of the fair to the darkest of the deep. And they really pushed this idea and concept of beauty for all. So creating foundations that could fit anyone, and the perfect red lipstick for anyone, and the perfect gloss for anyone. And they just pretty much pushed this idea of inclusion and creating this concept that beauty is something that everyone should be able to enjoy. They've, like I said, they've shaked and rattled the table and got these brands shook and considering what they need to be working on. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but whenever Fenty first launched their foundations, a lot of brands were posting the pictures of their foundations talking about, we have the range and this, that, and the third. And it happened again when they recently launched their concealers, and it's like, well, if you have the range, why aren't you pushing the range now? So Fenty really did, you know, push this idea of that beauty is meant for each and every person, not just those who are fair, but people who are deep complexions, people who are extremely fair, people who suffer from like skin conditions, things of that nature. Just really push this concept and idea of beauty for each and every person. That's the positive of Fenty. The way that they approach the brand is just really great, and it's Rihanna. Like, how can you hate it? With Fenty, I feel as though there is a few disconnects. Their eye products are where a lot of people tend to have the most problems. They've come out with 2 eyeshadow palettes so far. The Galaxy palette, which was consistent of all shimmer shades, and then the Moroccan Spice palette. And so with the Galaxy palette, people were like, oh, well, this is cute and all, but we don't have any transition shades. And like, for the average person, it wasn't easily, or for the average person, it wasn't the most easy to use palette. And then with Moroccan Spice, you had the options of mattes, but the mattes were tricky to work with. A lot of people were complaining about them being too dry, too patchy, whatever have you. So I hope that Fenty is in the works of creating a new palette that is easy to work with, something that can be pleasing to anyone on any skill level. And just adding on to the great products they already have. Like, they've already knocked complexion out the park, they've knocked lip products out the park. We want to see the eye products really like take heed, because when you think about Rihanna has like interesting lips and interesting eye looks, and it's like the lips are good, but we need to work on the eyes. So that's one thing. Another issue is that with such a broad expansion of the Pro Filter foundations, understand that yes, a lot of people do want matte foundations, but there are a lot of people who have dry skin who can't necessarily use the Pro Filter foundation. So hopefully Fenty will also be working on a foundation that is good for those with dry skin, so something that's more on the dewy side, something that's more hydrating. That was a big issue that I heard from a lot of people. Like, I have friends who have dry skin, and as much as they love Fenty Beauty as a brand and love Rihanna and everything that she's been doing, trying to work with a foundation that doesn't work with their skin is very tricky. Moving on into the next company, we have Beauty Bakerie, another company that I hold very close to my heart. As some of you guys know, whenever I first started out on YouTube and the influencing game, if you will, Beauty Bakerie was a company that reached out to me very early on, and I've been eternally grateful for that company. In case you guys don't know, Beauty Bakerie is owned by Cashmere, who is a black woman who as a CEO of the company, and that's major. Beauty Bakerie was recently picked up by Ulta, so I'm proud of them for that. And I'm just overall proud of the concept of what Beauty Bakerie stands for. Cashmere has dealt with a lot of struggles in her life coming up. She was battling cancer, and being a black woman in the industry, it was very hard for her to like get the ball rolling. And to now see where, even in like the short year and some change that I've started using Beauty Bakerie, seeing how far the company has grown, is something that I was extremely proud of. So Cashmere, if you're watching this, I couldn't be more proud of what you were doing with your company. I'm so proud of what you guys are doing. Cashmere feels like the older sister that I don't have. Like, you're always proud of what she's doing. You're just proud. Like, I'm just proud of her and everything she's done. A lot of the products, like the way that the foundations were laid out, from like the deep shades to the light instead of light to deep, and the way that the coffee and cocoa palette was created, as a way to create a bronzer for deeper complexion people, because her daughter is of deeper complexion, and the brand has done so many amazing things, especially for people of color, so I'm proud of them for that. And like I said, Beauty Bakerie reached out to me early on, and they've been reaching out to a lot of people who have smaller followings, if you will, and just trying to help build them up. I have a couple of friends who have been contacted by Beauty Bakerie. To see that kind of support for smaller artists is something that I am truly happy to see. So keep that up. The problem that I've had with Beauty Bakerie, and it's a weird issue to dance around, because it's like, I just want Beauty Bakerie to be careful who they align with. There was an issue that happened last year. You guys are very familiar with, hopefully, is the issue with Huda Beauty, and pretty much it was an issue where Huda Beauty was stealing the concept and ideas from Beauty Bakerie. A lot of people, you know, came to Beauty Bakerie's defense, so that wasn't the problem. The problem per se was that the people that Beauty Bakerie was starting to align with, and it's like, eek. Like, I'm not even going to mention this individual. You guys know who this man is. But it's just disappointing, considering his background, and then considering who Cashmere is, and considering who Beauty Bakerie has aligned themselves with, like Jackie Aina, who has been so supportive of the brand, who literally put me on to Beauty Bakerie. It was really disappointing, because you're giving an open embrace to someone who, like, just was like the negative to another person who you aligned with, who helped to put your brand on. It was just like I don't want to say sold out, but like, it was really disappointing to see Beauty Bakerie, you know, embrace this individual so heavily. And I haven't heard anything recently of it, but I just want them to be extremely careful who they align with, because they are an indie brand going into more of a mainstream kind of situation. I just don't want to see them get caught up in the wave of, you know, getting support from people who may be toxic to their brand. So hopefully that reaches out to them. Other than that, Beauty Bakerie is an amazing brand. I have nothing else negative to say about them. So yeah. The next brand I'm going to talk about is another brand that I hold very close to my heart, and is the last brand of the three that I stand. Like, I stand Fenty, Beauty Bakerie, and this brand. This brand is Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place is another black-owned business that is known for their extremely pigmented, extremely creative, and extremely affordable eyeshadow palettes. You guys have seen me review literally every eyeshadow palette that Juvia's Place came out with. Like, I own all of them. Sorry. I own all of their palettes. They're just that great, that creative. As someone who loves color and loves concepts, I love it. They've created this idea of embracing African cultures into their company and projecting it out into the Western world, and it's a beautiful thing to see packaging that includes deep skinned boys and girls on their covers that look like me and everyone else that is like me. It's a beautiful thing to see. Again, it's a black-owned business, and like Beauty Bakerie, they've recently been putting their products into Ulta stores, so that is an exciting thing for them as well. However, there are a few issues that I have with the brand. Number one is the customer service. Whenever I first discovered Juvia's Place, the big turnoff that I was hearing from people was that they had a bad customer service, and of course that was when the company was a lot smaller and still on the indie front. And since then, of course, I'm pretty sure they've hired more people to handle these situations. However, the customer service issue was something that I always kept hearing come up, and it was like people weren't getting products and things of that nature, and there were big delays and things like that. I never had a bad experience with Juvia's Place's customer service up until recently. I ordered the Tribal palette, which I recently did a review on, and I ordered that palette like maybe a week before Christmas. Let me tell you how crazy this situation was. My sister ordered her palette on a Tuesday. I ordered my palette on a Thursday, and her palette came 2 days later. My palette came 3 weeks later. Granted, this was around the Christmas season, so I understand that your company is backed up on orders, things of that nature. Perfectly fine, but I was seeing people getting their orders come in more and more. My order was nowhere to be seen, and then the thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way is that the brand was releasing like these big 50% off sales and 40% off sales, and it was like, I really don't like to see companies push all these big major sales when they're already backed up on orders, because then their company's going to be backed up on even more orders, and then more people are not going to be able to get their products. And I really wasn't even going to bring this topic up until I experienced it, and then one of my friends experienced the same thing, and it was like, dang it, I love Juvia's Place, but I don't want to see the customer service be a hindrance. Like I said, I'm sure that the customer service has gotten a whole lot better since the early days when people were complaining about it all the time, but because I experienced it personally, I have to bring it up. Another issue very similar to Beauty Bakery is that they found themselves getting a lot of like push from certain individuals, the same individual who gave the push to Beauty Bakery, who gave them a shout out. And as a black owned business and a brand that, you know, got a lot of its push in steam from black people, it was really disappointing to see this brand embrace this individual with open arms. So like same situation with Beauty Bakery, I hope that they learn from that. Hopefully it won't be a hindrance on them. The other major issue, and I'm going to say this now, and this is going to be something that may come up for other brands. This is an issue with this brand in particular that I want to see change immediately, and hopefully other brands will follow suit, but I really need it to happen with this brand. I need to see a better representation of boys, especially boys of color. It gets very disheartening when I see black owned businesses that are out here flourishing and, you know, just being like the greatest thing they can be, and then they're very selective about the way that they support their own people who support them. Like, I know a lot of guys who love Juvia's Place, who have loved their concepts, their colors, their pigments, all of that. And to see a very large disconnect from the people they support versus the people who support them, it really is like disappointing. Like, let me pull up their Instagram. So I'm scrolling through. Wow, my service is horrible. I'm scrolling through. I see plenty of black women, which I love. Plenty of dark-skinned women, which is beautiful. I don't see any black boys. And it hurts to see that, because like I see boys on their page, but these boys aren't black. And as a black owned business, it hurts to see that. Like, it really does hurt, and it sucks. And like I'm scrolling through, still don't see any. And like, you guys get the point. And this is an issue that happens with a lot of brands. Like, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm singling out Juvia's Place here. This is an issue that happens with a lot of brands. There's a lot of companies. Fenty's guilty of this. And I was going to mention it with them, but I really needed to be mentioned now. Fenty's guilty of this. There's some brands I'm going to mention later on that are guilty of this. But I really need this change to happen with Juvia's Place. This is a brand that gets too much support from black boys. And it hits close to home because it's an indie brand, and it's like I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. Like, I didn't have this problem with Beauty Bakery. Beauty Bakery had no problem reaching out to a boy of color. I can name at least 5 off the top of my head they've reached out to, and I just want Juvia's Place to have that same effort and that same push, especially now that they're, you know, becoming more mainstream. So hopefully that'll be something they decide to fix. Also, Juvia's Place, stop making so many warm eyeshadow palettes. Like, we get it. Like, I love you guys. I love the warm tones, but like, give us cool tones. I would love to see a palette that's similar to Tribe, that has blues and purples and greens strictly. I know you guys have dabbled in it with the Magic palette and the Masquerade palette, but I want to see a palette that is strictly cool tones from you guys. And a lot of people want to see that too, so hopefully you guys will take that into consideration as well. Like I said, those are my 3 favorite brands when it comes to makeup. I stan Fenty, I stan Juvia's Place, I stan Beauty Bakery. That's why I was so harsh with their brands in particular, and that's why those feel more personal to me. Like, I have a personal connection to those, so I really want to see those brands change and flourish and be the best brands they could be. So I hope that they take this into account. The rest of these brands are cool brands. Like, I'm not like, I mean, they're cool brands, whatever. We're gonna move into it. Hey you guys, Editing Dairies here. Let me put her shirt on first, hold on. Hey guys, editing days here. Listen, so I'm editing this video. We're currently sitting at about 20 minutes, and this is a long video. I'm not even halfway through it yet. However, there are a lot of important points I want to make in this video. So what I'm going to do is cut it up into two parts. This part is pretty much done at this point. I will be releasing the next part tomorrow, so you guys won't have to wait too much longer for it. I just really want to make sure that everything that I need to say is being said and that very valid points are being said, and so I don't want to, you know, take any of that out, whatever, what have you. So, yeah, this is the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching this part. Make sure you like this video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Follow me on all my social medias. You guys know the drill by now. If you don't, then everything's down below. But yeah, just, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss part 2 of this video coming out tomorrow. And, yeah, until next time, bye.